What's going on, guys? Jake here from the Fly Fiend. Welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. Today's video, I'm going to be tying up a CDL Perdigon nymph. I'm going to throw a pressure hook in the vise and we'll get right into tying. The hook I'm tying this fly on is a Synapse size 16 jig hook. Also tie it on a size 18 as well. I have that paired up with a 3mm slotted tungsten bead in silver, and the thread I'm going to be using is UTC 7 denier in cream. So I'm going to start my thread right behind this bead. I'm going to build up a little dam there, just to ensure that the bead isn't bouncing around on me. I can dress my hook and cut out the tag end. So this fly actually only calls for two materials. The first material we're tying in is our tail, and it's going to be Coq de Lion. This is medium Pardo. So I'm going to grab 3 fibers off a feather here. This is what's going to create my tail. I want a tail to be about hook length, just about so. The next material we're tying in is our rib. For a rib, I'm going to be using Uni soft wire. This is small in the color silver. I'm going to get about 4 to 5 inches here. I'm going to secure that wire on the shank facing towards the camera. And every time I'm tying something in, I'm going to bring my thread back up to my original tie-in point. That's just going to allow me to have a nice clean underbody, smooth and easy to work with. So for the actual body of this fly, I'm going to be using the same Coq de Lion cape. This is just a medium Pardo. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a feather from more towards the center that have longer fibers. And as you would kind of a pheasant tail nymph, I'm going to pull, I would say like 8 to 10 fibers, since this stuff is kind of skinny. I'm going to take about 8 to 10 there, just like so. I'm just going to tie these in on the side of the shank facing towards me. Then again, I'm going to take my thread all the way back up to my original tie-in point. So I have a nice smooth underbody. I have my body material coming out the one side, then I have my wire coming out the other. So there's my material. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this Coq de Lion fiber, and I'm just going to make wraps up this thread base I've created. And when it starts to twist, you want to kind of let the pressure off. These fibers are a little bit short, so it is tricky to get them in. So once I have those tied in and captured, I can cut out the little extra there. Now I'm going to grab this wire. I'm going to come underneath the fly, and I'm going to counter rib. This is going to add durability to these Coq de Lion fibers. It's going to add a little bit of flash into the fly as well, and add some nice segmentation into it, just like so. So at this point, you can actually throw in your whip finish. turn in a 4 or 5 turn whip finish there. I can cut out my thread. And what I like to actually do with my Perdigon style type nymphs is I kind of always have like a little tag underneath there, and sometimes you might have some stray fibers up near the head. What I like to do is actually come underneath it with a lighter. Now this Coq de Leon is a natural fiber, so it can singe, so I just kind of do it fast. Like with threads and other kind of materials, I can hold the flame on there a little bit longer, knowing that it's not going to burn up on me. But all I do is I just come underneath with a lighter, just like this, and it's just going to smooth out any imperfections there, just like so. It's going to give you a nice clean look as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of Loon Outdoors here. This is just the thin, and I'm just going to coat this whole body. And you don't need much. I'm literally just putting enough on there just to coat all those fibers, so the resin kind of has a chance to soak down and bind all those feathers together. So this is going to give it kind of like a cool 3D look. I really like the look of that Coq de Leon, the kind of the black markings in it. So when I'm doing these, I usually never go over that my rib. So I see a lot of people, they just put a huge coat of UV resin on there. That's totally fine. I like to make sure that mine still has kind of like a segmentation that you can see. And I think it really just comes down to personal preference and confidence when out on the water. So I'm going to add a little wing pad here. For that, I'm going to be using Loon Outdoors UV fly finish in black. This is very simple to do. I've had a lot of people ask me. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have my light on. Okay, this is kind of called a quick set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my light ready in my left hand, on, ready to cure. So this black wing pad isn't going to run down the sides at all. So all I'm going to do is just get a little blob at the end of that nozzle, let it sit for a second, and I'm going to come in right away with my light, and that's going to cure it right on top. As you can see, that wing pad's perfectly centered on top with no resin running down the sides. So since this is black, I like to cure it a little bit longer, just so that UV can kind of penetrate through the color and get a nice deep cure. But after that's cured up, you're ready to go. So you can tie this in any kind of colors that Coq de Leon comes in. This medium Pardo is probably my favorite. You can also do like the ginger color as well. Like I said, this one just definitely going to be a staple for me in my 2021 Euro box. Tie a few up. Let me know how you guys make out. If you like this video, drop a thumbs up. Helps me out a lot. If you have any questions about the fly or any of the materials, you can drop that down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot again for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in the next tutorial.